Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. 2026 is coming whether you're ready or not. The question is not when it's coming, but who you're going to be when it gets here. Every year people make big promises about change, but only a few actually improve. Why? Because most folks don't understand that improvement isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment. You got to wake up every day and say, I'm done living like this. I'm ready for better. Ladies and gentlemen, before you can ever improve your life, before you can ever take that next big step towards success, you have to first get honest with yourself about where you are right now. I'm not talking about what you post online, not what you show the world, but that private conversation you have when nobody's watching. Most people don't want to face their truth because it's uncomfortable. It's hard to admit that you've been wasting time, that you've been procrastinating, or that fear has been running your life. But the truth is, nothing in your life can grow until you do. You can't build a new life on top of lies and excuses. You got to be willing to stand in front of the mirror and say, this is where I am, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm not staying here. That kind of honesty is the foundation of all progress. See, too many people live in denial. They keep pretending everything is fine when it's not. They tell themselves, next year I'll do better, but next year comes and they're still making the same choices, still blaming the same people, still running from the same problems. The truth is, you can't fix what you won't face. If your finances are out of control, face it. If your mindset is toxic, face it. Because the moment you face your reality, you take back control of your life. You can't change direction while pretending you're already on the right path. Now, let me tell you something powerful. Honesty is not weakness, it's strength. It takes courage to say, I messed up. It takes guts to admit I'm not where I should be. But that honesty is the start of transformation. The people who make it in life, the ones who rise from nothing to something, are the ones who looked their situation dead in the eye and said, I've had enough. You don't change when life gets easy. You change when you get tired of your own excuses. And that moment of truth, that painful realization becomes your turning point. When I look back at my own life, I remember times I had to get brutally honest with myself. I was broke, frustrated, and blaming everybody but me. I had to stop and say, Steve, nobody's coming to save you. If you want more, you got to become more. That's when things started shifting, not because I got lucky, but because I got real. Once you take full responsibility for your situation, your power comes back. You stop waiting for help and start creating your own opportunity. Let me make this clear. Honesty is not about beating yourself up. It's about opening your eyes. You can't grow from a lie. You've got to measure where you are, not to shame yourself, but to track your progress. If you know where you stand, you can plan your next move. But if you keep pretending, you'll stay lost. Too many people want success, but hide from accountability. You can't build success on denial. You've got to build it on truth, even if the truth hurts. So before 2026 gets here, take a deep look at your life. Ask yourself some hard questions. Am I really putting in the effort I say I am? Am I being consistent or just busy? Am I surrounding myself with people who help me grow or people who hold me back? Be honest about your answers, because once you know the truth, you can start changing it. And once you start changing it, your whole life begins to move. Growth doesn't start with motivation. It starts with honesty. The kind of honesty that forces you to start pretending and start becoming. That's where real improvement begins. And that's how you step into the best version of yourself before 2026 arrives. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone's got dreams. Everybody wants success, happiness, and a better life. But dreams by themselves don't build anything. What shapes your life, what truly determines where you end up, are the habits you practice every single day. Your habits are the quiet builders of your destiny. They are the small things you do when nobody's watching that lead to the big results everyone eventually sees. See, people love to talk about what they want, but very few people are willing to change what they do. You can have the biggest dream in the world, but if your habits don't match that dream, it will stay a fantasy. Success doesn't respond to what you wish for, it responds to what you work for. When you wake up every morning and repeat the same behaviors, you are writing the story of your future. If your mornings are full of distractions, your days will be full of chaos. If your habits are built around laziness, procrastination, and excuses, then your life will reflect that. But if you discipline yourself to wake up early, focus, and put in consistent effort, your direction changes. It's not luck, it's structure. You don't stumble into success. You build it brick by brick through daily effort. The small disciplines you apply today will decide how high you rise tomorrow. Now, here's what most people get wrong. They think habits are just routines. They're not. Habits are agreements you make with your future self. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're saying to your future self, I don't care about you. But every time you choose discipline, even when it's hard, you're saying, I got your back. The most successful people you'll ever meet don't have more hours in the day. They just use theirs differently. They've built habits that align with where they want to go. They read when others scroll. They plan when others procrastinate. They stay focused when others give up. That's why they win. Dreams are beautiful, but habits are the engine. You can't drive a car without an engine, and you can't reach success without habits. The problem is, bad habits are easy, and good habits take effort. It's easy to stay in bed when you're tired. Easy to say, I'll start tomorrow. Easy to eat what's convenient instead of what's right. But that ease comes with a price. Every easy choice today becomes a harder life tomorrow. Every hard choice today becomes an easier life tomorrow. You have to decide which pain you want, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret, because one will shape your destiny and the other will steal it. Let me tell you something. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. You just need to start small and stay consistent. Replace one bad habit with one good one. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Read instead of scrolling. Save instead of spending. Speak gratitude instead of complaints. Every small decision adds up. It's like compound interest for your life. The more consistent you are, the greater your growth becomes. And over time, those small daily habits create massive results that seem impossible to others. Before 2026 gets here, ask yourself this: are my habits helping me or hurting me? Are they leading me toward my dreams or away from them? Because no matter how big your vision is, it won't happen if your daily actions don't align with it. Don't let your dream die in the gap between your intention and your behavior. Change what you do and your dream will start chasing you. You don't need more motivation, you need more discipline. Build the right habits and success will have no choice but to follow you. Remember, your dreams set the destination, but your habits drive the car. So if you want to change your direction before 2026, start by changing what you do every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest lies people tell themselves is that they need to feel motivated before they can take action. They wait for inspiration, for the perfect moment, for that magical burst of energy that will push them forward. But here's the truth. Motivation is temporary, and it comes and goes like the weather. Discipline, on the other hand, is permanent. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It only cares about what you do. The people who make it to the top are not always the most motivated. They're the most disciplined. They show up on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. They push through when it's boring, uncomfortable, and inconvenient. because discipline is the bridge between goals and results. Without it, even the strongest dreams fade away. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They've mastered discipline. They do what needs to be done whether they feel like it or not. They understand that consistency produces results, not emotion. Motivation can get you started, but only discipline keeps you going. When you rely on motivation, your progress will always be unstable. Some days you'll give your all and other days you'll do nothing. But when you build discipline, you become unstoppable. You move forward no matter what. And that's what separates winners from quitters. Motivation might open the door, but discipline walks through it and keeps walking long after motivation disappears. See, discipline is not about punishment, it's about power. It's about taking control of your own mind instead of letting your feelings control you. Most people quit when it gets hard, but disciplined people understand that hardship is part of the process. You can't grow in comfort. You can't build strength without struggle. Every time you force yourself to keep going, even when you want to stop, you're training your mind to be stronger than your emotion. That's when success starts to take root. You don't have to feel ready, you just have to act. When I look back on my life, there were countless moments I didn't feel like showing up. There were days I didn't feel like getting on stage, working or believing in myself. But I learned early on that feelings can't be trusted. If you only move when you feel good, you'll never move far. Discipline means doing what's necessary even when your mind says quit. It means turning off the excuses and turning on the commitment. That's how real change happens. It's not about waiting for inspiration. It's about building structure. Motivation is like a spark, but discipline is the fire that keeps burning long after the spark is gone. You have to train yourself to take action regardless of your mood. You might be tired, frustrated, or discouraged, but if you stay consistent, the results will show up. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. Every time you push through the urge to quit, you grow stronger. Every time you follow through on a promise you made to yourself, you build trust with your own character. And that self-trust, that inner integrity, becomes the foundation of your success. Before 2026 gets here, make this your goal: to stop depending on motivation and start living by discipline. Because when you master discipline, you no longer wait for the right moment. You create it. You no longer depend on luck. You depend on consistency. You no longer get lost in emotions. You stay focused on execution. The difference between who you are and who you want to be is what you do daily, not how you feel about it. So don't wait for the motivation to come. Get up, take action, and let discipline carry you the rest of the way. Motivation might get you started, but discipline will get you there and keep you there long after everyone else has stopped. Ladies and gentlemen, your life will only rise as high as your mindset allows it to. The truth is, success doesn't start with money, fame, or opportunity. It starts with the way you think. Your mind is the command center of your life. Every decision, every action, every result begins in your thoughts. If your mind is filled with fear, doubt, and negativity, your life will reflect that. But if your thoughts are built on faith, confidence, and possibility, you'll start attracting the kind of life you've been dreaming of. You can't expect a positive life with a negative mind. Everything you believe, everything you focus on, everything you repeat in your head becomes your reality. Change your mindset and you change your direction. Most people never reach their full potential because they've already convinced themselves they can't. They say, I'm not smart enough, I'm too old, or I don't have what it takes. Those are not facts. Those are beliefs. And beliefs can be changed. The only real limitation is the one you accept in your own mind. The human brain is powerful. It listens to every word you say about yourself and turns it into a pattern. If you keep telling yourself you're a failure, your brain starts looking for proof. But if you start saying, I can do this, your brain starts finding ways to make it happen. The words you speak become the life you live. That's why it's so important to guard your thoughts like a treasure. Your mindset determines how you respond to challenges. Two people can face the same problem. One sees it as an obstacle and the other sees it as an opportunity. The difference is not the situation, it's the mindset. When you have a growth mindset, you understand the failure is not the end, it's a lesson. You don't run from hard times, you learn from it. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? That simple shift changes everything. Life doesn't always go the way you plan, but if your mind is right, you'll find a way through. Now, let me tell you something. A strong mindset isn't built overnight. It's built through daily discipline. You have to feed your mind the right things. Stop spending hours listening to negativity, scrolling through drama, or comparing yourself to others. Feed your mind with growth. Read, learn, listen to wisdom, and surround yourself with people who think bigger. Because whatever you feed your mind will grow. If you plant seeds of confidence, courage, and hope, that's what will grow in your life. But if you keep feeding your fears, those fears will become your reality. You have to make a decision to protect your peace and focus your energy on what builds you. When I started to change my life, the first thing I changed wasn't my job or my environment. It was my mindset. I had to stop thinking like a man who was losing and start thinking like a man who was already winning. Once that shift happened, opportunities started showing up, doors started opening, and everything began to align. It wasn't luck, it was perspective. The world didn't change, I did. And when you change the way you see things, the things you see began to change. So before 2026 arrives, ask yourself this. What kind of mindset have you been living with? Is it helping you or holding you back? Because your mindset will either create your future or keep you stuck in your past. You can't control everything that happens around you, but you can control how you think about it. And that control gives you power. The power to stay focused when things get tough. It's the power to believe when no one else does. The power to push through when everything in you wants to quit. Remember this, your thoughts shape your life. So if you want to change your life, start by changing what you think. Because once your mindset evolves, everything else will follow. Ladies and gentlemen, no one makes it alone. Every great success story you've ever heard was built not just by talent or determination, but by the people who surrounded that person. The truth is, your environment determines your elevation. The people you spend the most time with are quietly shaping your mindset, your habits, and your future. If you hang around dreamers, thinkers, and doers, you will naturally start to rise. But if you keep company with complainers, doubters, and people who have given up on their goals, you'll start to sink without even realizing. Relationships are powerful. They can build you up or break you down. Before 2026 arrives, you need to take a serious look at who's in your circle and ask yourself, are these people helping me grow or holding me back? See, some of you are carrying people who are only meant to be part of your past, not your future. You try to drag them into a season they were never built to handle, and that's why you feel heavy. You can't soar while holding on to those who refuse to climb. There are people in your life who drain your energy, doubt your dreams, and distract you from your purpose. And if you're not careful, their influence will destroy your momentum. Letting go doesn't mean you hate them. It means you love yourself enough to protect your peace. You have to learn to release what no longer serves your growth. It's not personal, it's purpose. Now, on the other hand, you've got to intentionally build relationships that lift you higher. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who speak life into your vision, who remind you of your potential when you forget it yourself. You need people who tell you the truth, not what you want to hear. People who push you out of your comfort zone and help you stay accountable to your goals. When you walk with winners, something inside you shifts. You start to see what's possible. You start to dream bigger, act bolder, and expect more from yourself. The right relationships inspire you to become the best version of you. But remember, good relationships aren't built overnight. They take effort, honesty, and consistency. You can't expect strong connections if you only show up when it's convenient. Be the kind of person you want to attract. Be reliable, be genuine, and be supportive. When you show up for others with love and authenticity, you attract that same energy back into your life. Success is not just about climbing to the top. It's about bringing others with you and surrounding yourself with people who push you to stay there. You can't call yourself successful if everyone around you is struggling because of your neglect or pride. Real success creates community. Now let's be real. It's not easy to walk away from people you care about, even when you know they're not good for your growth. But sometimes love has to be from a distance. Sometimes you have to choose your peace over people's approval. Don't let loyalty become your prison. You can't heal in the same environment that broke you. You can't stay around people who don't believe in you and expect to grow. Protect your space because your energy is sacred. Before 2026 comes, take inventory of your relationships. Who encourages you? Who challenges you? Who drains you? Who believes in your dream even when it's hard to see? These are the questions that matter because your future will reflect your circle. Choose people who make you better, who celebrate your wins, who remind you of your purpose when life gets rough. Build a circle that feeds your faith, not your fear. You owe it to yourself to walk with those who want to see you win. And when you find those people, cherish them, appreciate them, and grow together. Because at the end of the day, success is not a solo journey. It's a shared one. And the right people will help you reach heights you could never touch alone. Ladies and gentlemen, too many people live their lives waiting for the right time to start. They say things like, next year I'll change, or when things calm down, I'll focus on my goals. But here's the truth, there will never be a perfect time. Life will always be busy, unpredictable, and full of obstacles. If you keep waiting for the stars to align, you'll spend your whole life standing still. The person you want to become, the life you want to live, the dreams you want to achieve, they don't start someday, they start today. The future you're hoping for is being built by the choices you make right now. Every action you take today is either moving you closer to your 2026 self or keeping you stuck in the same place. See, people love to make plans for the future, but plans without action are just wishes. You can write down all the goals you want. You can talk about change all you want, but nothing happens until you move. The future isn't created by intention. It's created by execution. If you want to become your best self in 2026, start acting like that person today. Stop saying, one day I'll get disciplined. Get disciplined now. Stop saying, one day I'll save money. Start saving now. Stop saying, one day I'll take care of my health. Start today because tomorrow is not promised. The version of you you're dreaming about is waiting for you to show up now, not later. Think about it. Every great transformation starts with one simple decision to begin. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to start where you are. The people who win in life are not the ones who wait until they're ready. They're the ones who start before they are. They understand that small progress every day leads to massive change over time. You don't have to run a marathon on day one. Just take one step. Then take another. Momentum builds through movement. Once you start moving, you'll begin to see doors open, opportunities appear, and confidence grow. But none of that happens if you stay frozen by fear or doubt. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they'll suddenly become successful in the future without changing their actions in the present. Success doesn't show up at your doorstep one morning and say, "I'm here." It shows up after months and years of daily effort, focus, and consistency. Every late night you spend improving yourself. Every sacrifice you make for your goal. Every choice to stay disciplined when you could have been lazy. Those are the invisible steps that lead to visible results. 2026 will not be some magical year to transform you. It will simply reflect the seeds you've been planting in 2025. So if you want a better future, you've got to start planting better seeds now. Stop waiting for permission to grow. Stop waiting for people to support you or understand your dream. You don't need validation to start. All you need is a decision. A decision that today is the day you stop postponing your potential. The truth is, the gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with action, not excuses. Don't let fear of failure stop you, because failure is part of progress. Every successful person has fallen, stumbled, and failed more times than they can count, but they kept moving. That's what separates dreamers from doers. Before 2026 arrives, start showing up as the person you want to be. Speak like them, think like them, act like them. Become your future self in your daily habits, your words, your focus, and your discipline. You don't grow into success, you build into it, one decision at a time. The next year is not your waiting room, it's your workshop. Your time is now. Because the only thing standing between who you are and who you want to be is the action you choose to take today.